Almost 3 years after the release of ChatGPT, ChatGPT has now released an AI-powered browser called ChatGPT Atlas. So let me show you 21 different examples I put together to get the most out of ChatGPT Atlas. Now, if you want to follow along, this is available completely for free to install, but it's only available as I'm recording this on Mac operating system, but it's coming to Windows and mobile soon later this year. But I'll put a link in the description to this page so you could just download it directly from here. Now, OpenAI describes this as a browser with ChatGPT built in. So ChatGPT will be available to you on every single page here, and you'll have other things like web navigation, traditional search, and you'll have automation built in too with ChatGPT agents, all on this single interface. And at this point, I've been using it for a week. There is one privacy setting I want to show you here, especially if you have a free ChatGPT account. Go up here to ChatGPT Atlas once you have it installed and go to settings. And under data control here, they actually let you turn this option off where it says improve the model for everyone. This is turned off if you do have a paid account by default, but if you do have a free account, you could turn this off here. And this is something I usually recommend people do when they use ChatGPT. The first thing I want to show you is called one-click summary. So any page on the web, you could click right here on top, and this will bring up the ChatGPT side panel. Now, this is going to be logged into your ChatGPT.com experience too. So whatever you do here is going to be tied into ChatGPT.com. And right here, you'll see this option. It says summarize. This is literally a one-click summary on any page on the web. So if you're looking at a long article or a web page like this or a research paper, you could actually click that and you will get a summary like this on the right side. So far, this is one of my favorite options on the right side. And just like ChatGPT, you could ask for a more specific summary. So I have a 9-page PDF report here that I found online, and I just said, give me a 3-sentence summary of this research paper instead of the one-click summary. So you could get as specific as you want with your prompts here to get something that's a lot more useful in the very first prompt. And it also lets you extend this out here, which is kind of nice. You'll get more real estate that way. So I've been using it a lot more this way with it fully extended here. Now, the second way to use Atlas is chatting with any website and just having a back and forth conversation. So not just a one-click summary. So I'm curious if Mac has a student discount. And yes, they do have a student discount. It's telling me more about it. And he gave me a link here that took me directly to the education store. So this is almost like having a custom chatbot on every single web page that you could have a back and forth conversation with. Number 3 is the YouTube integration. So anytime you're watching any YouTube video, you could ask a question directly from the YouTube video using ChatGPT. So if I open this up here, it will pull in that YouTube video into the chat. So again, I could get a one-click summary, or I could get background information, help me learn more about the people who created this, which is a really interesting option. So this is giving me any additional background here. And you'll see that in addition to looking into the YouTube video, it also looks on the web for additional sources. So this is something you could decide to turn on or off. It's just right here. So if you don't want that, you could just look into the YouTube video and not additional sources, but combining it with additional sources is really interesting. And all the sources have a citation here, so you could dive in individual websites here to learn a bit more. Another useful way to use this is, for example, if you're watching one of my videos, I mention a tool, and then you could ask ChatGPT here on the side, what was the tool he mentioned at the 2:30-minute mark, and it will give you a link for that. Number 4 is mentioning different tabs. So all I have to do is on a new tab that I have, every time you open a new tab, you will have ChatGPT right in the middle here. And I'm not on the ChatGPT website, I'm just on a blank new tab. So I could type in the add mention sign here, and it will allow me to pull in individual tabs here. So I could bring in that ChatGPT article here, and then I could ask an individual question, and it will go ahead and use ChatGPT here with the power of the normal search that ChatGPT has to give you an answer, but it pulls it directly from that tab, not a normal ChatGPT search. Now, number 5 is actually finding discounts just using the ChatGPT sidebar. So any page you're on, during the checkout process, just ask for working promo codes. Now, this will do a search for you, and if it found any code, you could just try and copy paste it into the checkout to see if they work. It tells you exactly how to do it. And it obviously depends on what website you're on. So in my early testing, again, I've only used this for about a week. It worked about a third of the time. Number 6 is the ability to compare multiple different tabs. So if you're comparing research, if you're comparing products, prices, reviews, you could do this side by side. And it's really easy to do here on a new tab. So I could say compare the two laptops I have open, list the pros and cons in table format. So I had two laptop tabs open. It was able to see it and it created the table for me, created the pros and cons just from my open tabs. Now, again, this is in my early testing, hit and miss. Sometimes it would tell me it can't see the tab. I just said, yes, you can. You are at list. And then all of a sudden, it was able to give me the answer. But again, it's intended to work exactly this way, where you could compare multiple open tabs here and get an answer out of ChatGPT. Now, number 7 is browser memory, a very unique offering from ChatGPT Atlas. Some people may have some privacy issues about this, but let me show you exactly what it does. So if I go to settings and it asks you this during the sign-up process, and you go to personalization, there's an option, it says reference browser memory, and mine is turned on. What this means is you are allowing ChatGPT Atlas to actually search through your history, your search history on the web. So your browser activity could become part of the context of ChatGPT search, which again could be very beneficial. Obviously, if you have privacy issues and you don't like that option, you could always turn it off. But just for the sake of showing you all the available option, this will search open tabs, recent history, documents, emails, and more. So for example, I could say, find the latest video that I watched here, and it's looking into browser memory. I checked your recent browser memory, and this is the video you watched, and this is when you watched it. Now, a lot of times I do find useful information, but I don't really store it. I use other apps sometimes to do things like that for me. But right now, this comes in really, really handy for things that I forget about. So some of those work examples could be, where did I see that document about our Q4 plan, right? Or show me any email that I got from Jane that had a calendar invite. Or take me to the Google Map location I looked up yesterday. So those are really handy because a lot of times we just forget as we go through the day, and you're like, I know I looked this up, but I don't remember exactly where you just have a chat with your browsing history using AI. Now, having ChatGPT available to you on every single page should make it a lot more useful than ever before, especially for work. That's why I wanted to recommend a free guide called 5 Essential Resources for using ChatGPT at work to level up your ChatGPT skills from HubSpot Media. It's a comprehensive ChatGPT bundle that walks you through when to use ChatGPT with clear flowcharts, easy to use templates, AI-generated refinement list, and AI adoption checklist. My favorite section is in the ebook. It's called 100 Ways to Try ChatGPT Today. It's literally 100 different examples with prompts included on ways to use ChatGPT. And even though I've used ChatGPT pretty much every single day for almost 3 years, a lot of these gave me new ideas. So for example, number 27, provide recommendations for customer retention strategies. And number 35, generate ideas for improving customer onboarding processes, are 2 examples that I found on this list that I'm putting into motion right now in my company. So I'll put a link in the description on my video where you could download the guide for free. And thank you for HubSpot Media for sponsoring this video and making this resource available to my audience. Number 8, you could use it as your travel companion. So anytime you want to compare hotels or if you want to compare flights, this will actually do the work for you. Now, this part I haven't shown you yet, but there is an option here called ChatGPT Agent. They also have it available on the ChatGPT website, but it's also, this agent mode is available on the side panel where ChatGPT could perform complex tasks on the browser for you. So this is one use case. I have some more coming up. Find flights from Chicago to Maui next week. Now, obviously, you want to give a very specific information, traveler information, compare options, and autofill the travel info. I'm going to go ahead and send this out, and I could go ahead and trigger the agent mode here to actually use it. Now, agent mode has 2 options. It could be logged in. ChatGPT works alongside you using your logged in accounts. In this case, I am not logged in, but ChatGPT could also be set to a logged out experience. Let ChatGPT work alongside you with your accounts logged out. So if you don't want to give it too much control, this is a nice place to start to get comfortable with the logged out experience. And then when you do trust it a little bit more, you could try the logged in experience. But this is the agent mode. I'm going to send this out here. Now it's actually available to the Plus plan. So it used to only be available to the Pro plan, but it does require a paid upgrade of ChatGPT to use ChatGPT agent. And so far it's smart enough to ask me what date next week. So it's not just making things up. And if you look on the left side here, you'll see a little cursor. So it's already going to work. It'll show you its thinking process too. Now, this usually takes longer than a human. So this is definitely a background activity to do these type of research for you. And you could always take control here on the bottom. It says right here, if you can see this on the bottom, or you could just stop it at any time. But so far it looks like it did the research for me and it's asking me what it should do next. And if you do give it the logged in experience, it takes it all the way to the checkout and it asks you if you want to finalize that checkout and purchase, which is really interesting. But so far it's a little bit slow. I don't think this is going to be very practical till it's much, much faster, because right now I could do this way faster than this can. But again, as a background activity, especially if you run 3-4 tabs doing multiple different searches, it can come in handy. Now, this next one is really handy for work. It's a website research assistant. And I specifically mean, let's say you have a company and you're trying to launch a website. Well, it makes sense to analyze and do research on the competitor websites that are doing pretty well, so you could design your own that way. Now, I just said analyze the top 5 websites in the law firm industry, summarize what layout, colors, and features they use. And typically, I might have 1 or 2 tabs open that I could pull into this conversation. But in this case, I'm just going to let this go to work. You could always combine this with other tools as well. So if you have more time, you can use deep research, and you could always use tab search here to pull in things that you've already looked up. And remember, you have browsing memory too if you have that turned on. And the nice thing about this is more of a search experience inside of Atlas. So right here, it took me to a ChatGPT homepage, and you could see the result looked totally different than a usual experience inside of ChatGPT. Right on top, I could always go to search and see a traditional Google search too on what that prompt got me. I could see images this way, I could see videos this way, and I could see news article this way. And at the end, I could say, based on this research, give me a prompt for a vibe coding platform to help me design a demo site. A lot of times, this is how I come up with an initial draft of a site, and I could use all kinds of different vibe coding. Google actually just recently rolled one out in AI Studio, and I've used a ton of other ones I made videos about. But I'll get a prompt like this and I'll type it into that platform, and you could see the colors, the styles, all came from that best research here that I got inside of Atlas. Now, number 10 is smart tab management. So because you're using Atlas, this is AI powered, so it has context of what tabs you have open and what's going on with your tabs. So you could close tabs you haven't visited recently, or remove duplicates, close distractions. So I could do something like close all duplicate tabs. Let's look on top, see if you have any duplicates. You list the tab and it's closing. Looks like one was a duplicate, so it closed that one for me. Now I could ask to close any distraction tabs. I could see I got YouTube open. Let's see if it decides, yep, it decided that was a distraction, so it closed that for me. You could always reorder and reorganize your tabs here just with search. So I'm gonna ask it to reorder my tabs for me. Okay, this one took a couple different attempts here and I got stuck, but it did move the 3 tabs here. Now, obviously this is still in its infancy, but once it does figure out tab control in a way where it works every single time, I think that's gonna be really, really handy. Now, the next one is extracting information. I'm gonna show you LinkedIn information extractions. So I could ask it to look into any profile, list any job titles, for example, website listed, pretty much anything that is on this page. It will be able to pull that information and I could easily copy and paste it into any type of CRM or any type of lead management system that I'm using. Now, number 12 is actually creating reports or presentation using ChatGPT Atlas. So let's say I've done a ton of research here. I have a bunch of tabs open about different AI tools that I've been researching. And I could say something like create a 5-slide presentation summarizing all my AI tool research from my open tabs here. Now, this is not going to make the slideshow for me, but it's going to look through these tabs where I have done some AI research, and I've looked up ChatGPT Atlas, Claude, Gamma, Nano Banana, and it has list those for me here. It's created a slideshow for comparison and so on. and it's asking me if I want to generate a PowerPoint. Now, I typically use Gamma for this, and I actually asked ChatGPT just to help me with the research side, but a really handy start here. The next one is pretty mind-blowing. It's actually Google Sheets interaction, and you could do this with Microsoft Excel if you use it online too. And let me show you what I'm going to do here. I'm going to ask ChatGPT here, and I'm going to turn on agent mode so it could take actions for me. And I'm going to say add a cell combining prices for column B, which is all these prices here on this made up sheet. And I'll go ahead and use the logged in experience here, and it will be able to take control of my screen. Okay, so let me let this go to work. And this is still, again, one of those things where the AI agent is just far slower than you're just adding a formula. But just imagine being able to use chat without any third-party software to do this. Look at that. It's doing it right now. It's added some formula from B2 to B38. Let me go ahead and click away. And it worked. It put it exactly here. Now, I could have been more specific and asked it to put it in this cell for me, but the math is right. The formula was right. And it was able to achieve that just from a text prompt. This could be completely revolutionary for how we interact with things on the web, right? Especially for work-related tasks like dealing with spreadsheets. Number 14 is Smart Search. So Smart Search searches across everything all at once. So any open tabs, any browsing history even that's turned on, any document that you have looked up. Okay, let's see if you could do something like this. What was my donation total in 2021? That was the document we created. I looked it up earlier in Google Sheet. Now, if I'm not specific, it's just gonna do a web search. So let's see if he can figure this out. Searching browser memory, it looks like your donation earlier was right here, and he gave me a link to it. Now, it did not give me the total, but the link is take me exactly to that cell. What was the link you gave me earlier for that Apple education site? Again, search browser memory, here's the link, and yep, that's exactly where it took us earlier. So you could see a smarter search could be a huge benefit. Just not being able to search using traditional Google or traditional ChatGPT, actually searching across everything you've done on your browser. Number 15 is email management. So I have my inbox open here, so it could actually scan my inbox, see what's important, what I need to follow up on, and it could automatically help me find replies here or draft them at least, or schedule a follow-up meeting here. So summarizing all new emails today, that could be one thing, and I'll go and look right here. Okay, perfect. Gave me the time, gave me the subject here, and gave me the message. And it says, do you want to help draft the reply? I'm going to say yes. And just like that, I got a reply. I could copy and paste it. Obviously, apps like Gmail have their own version, but if you prefer ChatGPT, this is a much better way to taking things from Gmail, opening up chatgpt.com, copy and pasting it, right? This is all on the sidebar here, and a lot faster to go back and forth between these two different sides of the page. And I could say, can you see if I'm free next Monday at 1? And it will try to connect ChatGPT to my Google Calendar. And I give it access, it connected to Google Calendar, and it says, yes, you are free next Monday at 1 p.m. No events are scheduled. Would you like me to add the consulting session with Sam Jones? So let's see if he could add that for us. Okay, it looks like he gave us a link here, so I could go ahead and click that. And it looks like he's titled it for us. He picked the right time and date, and I could go ahead and save it from here. And he added it here. So a really interesting way to use it as a personal assistant here, not to only manage your emails and help you draft replies, but also manage your calendar and schedule. Now, this next one is a combination of Atlas and traditional ChatGPT, but let me show you why I like it a little bit more here on Atlas. So using it as a fact-checking agent. So fact-check the claim that AI will replace 50% of jobs by 2030. Now, this is going to do a traditional type of ChatGPT search. It will also browse anything I've looked up before related to this topic. And at the bottom of this, it gave us a ton of different sources. So this is why I like this a little bit more, because now I got the answer from ChatGPT that I could obviously have a back and forth conversation with, but I could always click on search here and see my typical Google search. So I have the best of both worlds. If I want traditional links, I could go to it that way. And if I want AI search, I could look at it this way. And the nice thing about this is because this is connected to my regular ChatGPT account, it also pulls in things directly from my company and my information. This is just something it knows from previous chat and memory, in addition to what it has the context of browsing memory too. So it's combining a lot of different context. These type of chatbots and these type of browsers are obviously going to get more smart and more useful with more context. Now, the next one is also work related, but you could optimize content that you wrote and optimize it for SEO, for example. So I have this web page open and I could ask ChatGPT here, analyze my article here and suggest 5 SEO improvements, and it will go through this whole page. It's already given us a title that it recommends more. It's going to ask us to add some keywords here, different variations of the keyword. It's asking us to include a FAQ section, improve internal linking, and it's giving me exactly how to do it and where to link things to. And it's giving us follow-up suggestions like rewriting the meta title and description tags. Now, number 18 is related to website conversion and helping you with any type of marketing. So I have my landing page open to our e-learning platform. So I brought that in and I'm going to ask it, analyze this page and suggest improvements to improve conversion rates. And it's telling me what's working. It's telling me where I need key improvements here. And I read through this a couple of times and it actually was really good. And he gave me 10 different options here. And again, I am using ChatGPT, so I could just have a back and forth chat. Now, what's nice about this, I could also combine these with different things that I have in my Google Drive. So remember, you have all the different tools that's available in ChatGPT. So a lot of times I've done previous research before. I may want to bring that from my Google Drive. I have a Google Doc all about conversion optimization. I could bring that in, combine it here with chat and get something even more useful. There's always the company knowledge base too that they've rolled out if you have the Teams plan, so I could roll in things from that too. And because I'm inside of ChatGPT, I could bring in that page right here and I could ask ChatGPT to actually compare this with other education platforms. Now, you could always ask it for real-time financial help too. So market summaries, alerts, any type of performance. Show me today's biggest crypto drop here with reasons. So it's going to go through this. And again, it's going to also be able to search the web in addition to the context of this page. So it was able to pull in what has dropped here just based on the simple chart, but it also was able to do research using these other websites on why that happened, which is really, really handy over here. Now, which brings me to the next example, which is auto data extraction. So while I'm on a page like this, I could extract stats, data, tables, and create things like a CSV or a PDF. So I just said, extract all prices for the top 10 coins with their names here and create a CSV file for me. And there we have it. Let's go check that CSV, download it. And it's exactly right. The top 10 here with the names and the prices directly from this webpage. Now, let me show you the power of the shopping agent. So I'm going to turn this on and I'm going to turn on agent mode. I said, find me the best wireless earbuds under $150, compare the top 3 on different sites and add the top rated one to my cart. Only select one to buy, so it doesn't try to buy multiple. Okay, now the agent goes to work here and it pulled in a browser. It's going to multiple different sites. You could actually see it go to work. But again, I recommend with the agent, minimize this, come back to it in 10 minutes and see how far it got. So I'll show you the result as soon as it's done. Okay, this was pretty good. It looked through 3 different websites and at the end it decided the Best Buy version for $119 was the best deal. And I agree. I think if I did this research myself, I think I could have done it a little bit faster, but the results are the same. Now, I don't have a Best Buy account, so it couldn't log me in, but it did take me all the way here where I could just go ahead and add it to cart. Again, as a background item to do these type of things, especially with multiple tabs, I think it's come a really long way since the first time I tried ChatGPT Agent on the ChatGPT website. Now that it's on the browser, it's a whole lot better. Now they're working on a few different things too, like grouping tabs. That's going to be handy. Actually creating different user profiles like you have on Chrome. Ad blockers are being worked on. And they're also working on improving the speed. Right now, I think a lot of it is a little bit too slow. So I'm looking for a way to just do this much, much faster, like the experience I have inside of ChatGPT. This is obviously still brand new, so it has a long way to go, but it has a lot of potential. I've been using AI browsers for a while now. Perplexity has a really good one called Comet that I've been using for a few months. So I'm getting used to it. It's definitely a whole different workflow. But in this case, having ChatGPT with you on every single page could be really, really beneficial. Also, if you haven't had a chance to check out the e-learning platform I mentioned earlier called Skill Leap, we actually rolled out new courses on some of the top AI tools. So we recently rolled out a Nano Banana course. And just tomorrow, I'm releasing a very comprehensive AI marketing course that's going to show you all the different things you could do in the world of marketing using the top AI tools. And I'm the instructor for that one. But we have 7 instructors at this point and over 30 different courses. We release new ones every single month. And it has a free trial to make sure you're a good fit. Take a course or two. And if you like to stick around, you'll always get access to the latest courses, latest learning path. And we keep this one really up to date. We're updating about 7 courses that we've already released that got new updates from the AI models just in the next 2 months to make sure everything is fresh here on this platform. So if you're looking for a place to stay on the cutting edge of AI, make sure you give this a try, linked in the description below. Thanks so much for watching this video. I'll see you on the next one.